We just spent 2 weeks testing out the Poolin EOC06. These are our final thoughts.
Now, if you're new to digitizing or want to understand why this works, I put together a free Digitizing 101 course just for you. It covers the core theory behind stitch types, underlay, density, and structure, the exact foundations that make raised effects possible. You can download it for free and start learning right away. It even includes a printable cheat sheet to guide you through the process. Well, when we wrapped up the last video, we promised that in a couple weeks' time, we'd come back and give you our thoughts on how this machine ran in production, because our whole goal was to put it in production and run samples all day long, which we did. There's a few of the samples, but we kind of made sure that we ran some of our more difficult stuff, like what you're holding there, Ken.
Yes, that's right.
That one I actually did run myself yesterday because I wanted to see how the machine actually ran for me.
Yes.
Now, in our sampling room, we had the person who normally runs our multi-needle machines run this machine, and the, I guess, reviews for the most part were positive, but there was, I guess, a little bit of tensioning issues, right?
That's right, yeah. I feel like out of everything that we experienced so far last week was the tension needed to be checked every now and then. Now, thankfully, that is an awesome place where Poolin has that support system. We ended up reaching out to them on WhatsApp, and within a couple of hours, they got back to us. They actually started sending videos too on how to check the machine, how to make sure that the tension is set properly. Both the sampler and I ended up reaching out at different times, and it helped us out to figure out the settings.
Awesome, and that is great news for somebody who's just getting into this, because we do have a bit of experience on our side, and every machine does have its own little learning curve. I did find when I was running the machine myself that there were certain things that I would do with a multi-head machine that I would not do with this one. Specifically, you know, sort of tying our lock knots and pulling the thread through. I found that when I tried that, it actually would sometimes disengage from how it should be hooped properly. And if I just pulled it through and hit the start button, I got a bird's nest on 2 occasions. And then I realized that it wasn't necessarily the machine's fault, it was the fault that I did not make sure that everything was going through the proper areas to be threaded.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
So if I were to say anything with regards to keeping the machine running, it ran beautifully. I mean, that sample, it looks great. It, registration was good. It does run fast, comparatively. Like, it runs a top speed of 600 stitches per minute.
That's right, yeah.
It does slow down on the wider stitches, but it actually kept a really nice flow of stitches, and the tension for the most part was good, unless I didn't rethread it properly. So if I were gonna make any suggestions, I would say to, at every color, reconnect your thread, run it through the system, and pull it through properly, as opposed to trying to cut corners.
Yes, actually, one of the things that I did the previous week is we had a tutorial on how to do an in the hoop project. I ended up stitching that project out on this machine, and it even stitched out through a zipper. Which was so impressive, because I didn't even think that was going to be possible with this.
Keep in mind, it was a nylon zipper.
Yes, of course. But to me, having this single needle machine, I guess giving me the capabilities of doing in the hoop projects like that, I think that's a big plus.
Which does show us from a crafting point of view, if you are doing things on vinyls, or if you're making name tags, or if you're doing in the hoop projects or doing quilting projects, at least we know that this machine definitely will handle that situation. So things that really impress me, if I start sort of from the beginning, is number one, price point. And I know that's why this machine has become, very popular recently, and I did see it starting to pop up in all my feeds about the Poolin, and that's sort of how I got interested in the first place. And most of the, I guess, hype is what you're getting for your buck, bang for your buck. You get a machine that has very large hoop sizes, and I know we didn't mention this in the last video, but I think I've seen this machine advertised on sale anywhere from $13.99 up to $15.99. And to have a machine that has a hoop size that large for that price point, that is a huge draw.
And it comes with a bit of a kit too, right?
Yep, it comes with a kit, comes with all the foundational things that you need to get started. So I think that's one of the main reasons why people have been so interested in the machine.
Yeah.
Because anything comparable that you're looking at would be almost $500 to $1,000 more with smaller hoop sizes. Yeah. So that's one of the largest things. Now, I also, when when I joined all the groups and I started to, I guess, get feedback from other people, even before this machine arrived, I did see mixed reviews. Like there were people that were saying it's the best machine that they've ever had, others that got started had no issues, and then others that were hitting, learning curves and getting a little frustrated. And that is what I would say would probably be partially from user error. Not saying that people didn't experience those issues, because as we mentioned when we did the last video, we had one of the brackets actually that wasn't connected here.
Yes, yeah.
And that's a big issue. So I'm sure that that might have happened to other users as well, where there was some actual mechanical issues. But what I did see also on those same feeds is people who would say, we reached out to Poolin, they got back to us, they sent us videos, they got the support that they needed. Is it the same type of handheld support that you get from a brick and mortar dealer? Absolutely not. But it's nice to know that even with a machine that you're buying online, you do have support there to help you get past that learning curve.
That's right. Yeah, even in the YouTube video that we posted, it was mostly positive, but we also had people who said, hey, I'm not really a big fan of the machine. I'm struggling a lot with it. And again, like you said, it is due to a lot of user error, but at the same time, it's tinkering with the machine and being comfortable enough to, I guess, modify it yourself and make sure that you set up the settings right that the support gives to you in order to get it to work.
Quick pause. If you're enjoying this, you don't want to miss what we've got coming up. We're going live on May 9th to showcase some incredible award-winning quilt embroidery designs, and honestly, the level of detail is next level. Plus, we're giving away 3 Poolin embroidery machines during the live. Just make sure you're registered and actually show up. That's how you get entered. Links in the description. We'll see you there. Now, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on how we actually got hooked up with the Poolin machine in the first place. And they did reach out to me, which was kind of ironic because it was at around the same time that I was starting to look into it, because I had seen so much
it's so popular on social media.
It was so popular. And when they did actually send me an email, they asked if we wanted to have a machine to try out and review. And I did reply back to them with our ethics statement, sort of saying that, well, we don't mind reviewing a machine, but I want you to know that regardless of how it performs, we will give our honest feedback to our viewers, whether it's good or bad. And that was the first thing that really did impress me, was they got back to me right away and said, we appreciate that, and we do want you to give us an honest review. So whether it was positive or negative, they were willing to actually, listen to what we had to say. So that's one of the first things. One of the other things that happened after that was when we did release the last video, and we did show some of the little things that we found. Number one, the little bracket that Ken caught. We let them know that the video was released, and they did get back to us right away and said, that really does, we appreciate your honesty and your input, and that does tell us that we need to make sure that we continue to better ourselves as far as the quality control and manufacturing. And that said a lot to me as well, because it wasn't just brushing it off. They actually took ownership and responsibility for an issue like that, and it shows that they really want to work with their customers and, in the end, deliver a better product.
That's right. I think the fact that they didn't tell you, hey, you know what, take that video down, we don't like it, like other companies could do. It was more so, hey, I accept that this issue happened on our end. We are working really hard to improve our machines. We've already made a step up with the newer versions that they have already available, and that they're gonna work harder to. I hope that is the promise that they keep, to continue working really hard on making great machines.
Now, I hope this isn't too much off topic, but I do think that with age comes wisdom. So I'm going to go a little bit into the past as to my final feelings on this machine and where I think it's going to potentially go in the future. Number one, I have to go back to my early years when I used to exhibit at the what was known as the ISS shows, when I was there with all of my other educator friends, and we saw these new machines come on the floor. And a lot of us were skeptical because the main machines at that time commercially were Tajima, Baradin, and ZSK. And then there was these other brands that hit around that time. One of them was a brand called Happy, and another one was SWF. And I remember that we were a little skeptical about these machines because they were new.
Yes.
And we, watched them on the floor, and we were kind of like, oh, I don't know if I would take a chance on those.
Are they going to work out? Are they going to survive?
Are they going to survive?
Yeah.
Now, those two I mentioned did survive, obviously. Happy is an incredible, quality brand, and SWF also is an incredible brand. And they kind of got past that initial, coming into the industry. They proved themselves, and they made everything right. And now they are a trusted brand in the industry when they were the new guys, on the block at that point.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, there were a few other brands that I saw come in that are no more. So that's where that is really what comes to play, is a company, any company, no matter where they're from, needs to prove themselves in the industry. And from what I heard from Poolin with regards to, giving us no excuses for issues that are happening, for trying to be there within a digital world and providing, response and videos and, support the best they can, that tells me that it is a progressive brand that is going to try to adapt into the industry.
Poolin, from what I've gathered on social media, is that they're hungry to be part of the community. They're trying to be a staple, and if they do keep improving on their quality, I can see how they will be a pretty great contender. So John, after spending 2 weeks with the machine, seeing the kinds of designs that it can make, what would you give it a rating?
Well, if I were to rate this machine just from what I've seen as far as value for the dollar, stitch quality when I stitched it out, as far as the user interface and friendliness was concerned, I would actually rate it pretty high. I'm getting in there around the almost 4 out of 5 point. I think that this brand and this machine has the ability and opportunity to really
expand grow,
and become higher and grow. And it has definitely caught people's interest. How about you, Ken?
I think that based on the value, it's amazing. You really can't beat this. You get so many different things. You get all the spools, you get the hoop size. I wish I had something like this when I first got started. Although, again, it is a little bit hard to estimate how beginner friendly it is, because when we first unboxed it, we already kind of knew how to fix things, right? Especially this area. So for me, I think I'm gonna stand around at 3.5 as well, especially because I know that they have a newer version. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they made those improvements, what they've changed, how they make the machine operate better. I asked their sampler to send me some notes based on their experience on the machine, and it was pretty much up to par as well. Going back to tension, going back to the little tinkering that you kind of have to do with it at the beginning, which causes it to not be so beginner friendly. But as soon as you dial those settings in, then you're pretty much good to go. The support as well, like I said, we both reached out to support and we both got pretty good help on the machine, and we were both so impressed by being able to do that in the hoop design. So I think 3.5 is going to be the final verdict for me, with improvements on the future machines.
So I think our final verdict is, overall, we're very happy with the machine.
Yes.
I mean, the stitch quality was great. A little finicky at the beginning, but we got past that, and now we're just looking forward to keeping it going and seeing how it's going to perform 3 months from now or 6 months from now.
The longevity of the machine.
Yeah. So, that is number one. From what I've seen from the, interaction and correspondence we've gotten from Poolin, I am very, very optimistic that they are going to continue to grow this brand and provide, improvements on the equipment. So it's kind of really exciting to see this industry grow, and also grow at a price point that is more accessible for people.
This has been our experience with the Pooling machine, but we want to know what you guys think, what your experience has been, if you have one, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Please put it down in the comments, because ultimately this is all about the community finding tools that help us create more and grow together.
Yep, and I know that Poolin would also appreciate the feedback, because from what I've seen, they want to improve.
That's right. So comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to watch these videos somewhere here next, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
If you've been embroidering but still can't create your own designs, that changes today. Legacy Digitizing Software gives you the professional tools that are actually easy to use, backed by education that walks you through everything from day one. Thousands of embroiderers have already made the switch and are finally creating designs they are proud of. Click the link below to get started.